Think you could show me some appreciation.
A little appreciation? Do you know how easy this is for me? Do you have any fucking idea how easy this is? This is a fucking joke. And I'm sorry you can't do this. I really am, because I wouldn't have to fucking sit here and watch you fumble around and fuck it up.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Dose. When I was younger, in elementary school, I was placed in all the medium-level classes. I wasn't considered very bright, nor was I considered stupid. I was right in the middle, across the board. Math, reading, writing, history, etc. This went on up until middle school, when in 6th grade, I took a standardized math exam that was administered statewide, so everyone in the state had to take it. And my results placed me 5th in my school, amongst everyone else in the school, including 8th graders and 7th graders. I had come to learn later on that I was the first 6th grader ever to place in the top 5 of my middle school. From then on, it became evident that I had a proclivity for math that persists to this day. Going through high school, I was placed in all the honors and AP classes. I did very well there, and I continued to score very high on the standardized exams. The math and science classes were always a breeze throughout high school. I almost always got perfect scores or very close to it, while the other kids had to study 10 times as hard to get high B's and low A's. I had some natural talent in this area. I didn't particularly earn it or work hard for it. It was just given to me by the good grace of God. However, it didn't help me as much when it came time to apply to college. I was rejected by my top 3 choice schools, while I saw other students, classmates, get into those colleges who didn't quite have my mathematical prowess, yet they were born the correct minority or gender, whereas I was not. That was disappointing, but I went on to a good college regardless and did fine there as well, until senior year came around and I had to apply to jobs, and I noticed a similar pattern. Several of my friends and classmates were getting job offers from places that I applied to, people whom I had to help pass their calculus and multivariable calculus exams and statistics classes, yet they were getting the offers that I wanted, and I was getting rejected by those very companies. Once again, many of them were born the correct minority or the correct gender, whereas I was clearly not. This was a little bit more disappointing than not getting into my top choice colleges, because now we were dealing with real life, and I began to fear whether or not I would be given a fair shake. Well, as it turns out, things worked out quite well for me in the real world. I work in a highly quantitative industry that demands very, very strong analytical skills that cannot be faked. And as a result, I earn a very handsome living utilizing these skills that other people just don't have and cannot cultivate no matter how hard they try. Like the speaker in the beginning of this clip, many people have no idea how easy this is to me, how much of a joke it is to apply my quantitative skills to extrapolate analytical conclusions that can be used in a business context. It is a joke. I can do it in my sleep. However, my professional circumstance has a caveat that must be considered within the context of our SJW-driven society, which now dictates corporate agenda. Simply put, I cannot comply with that agenda. I cannot play in this game. I work for myself, largely through force. I couldn't get the job that I wanted to coming out of college. I had to go on my own, literally. I had to create my own business. And I had to use my own skills and wherewithal to create value for myself. At the time, that was very daunting, very frightening. But I didn't realize then how much of an advantage I really had. This is easy for me. People have no idea how easy this is for me. It's a fucking joke. But if I were to apply these skills or leverage them within a corporate environment, it would not be so easy. I would not be successful. I would be passed over for promotions by, once again, the right minorities or the right genders. I would be passed over for leadership roles. I would not be given raises. I would be relegated to a position of inferiority for the duration of my career, no matter how good I am. That is not a fate I'm willing to accept. As MGTOW men, the impetus is on us to carve out career paths where we can leverage our own abilities to create value exclusively for ourselves. We should essentially work for ourselves or other people who think likewise. We cannot play the game. The game is not meant for us. The game has been rigged, and the goalposts keep moving in the wrong direction. This is good news and bad news depending on your personal strengths and weaknesses. If you are highly skilled in an area that is demanded by the marketplace, such as quantitative skills or very, very exceptional athletic ability, or perhaps you're a great singer, great musician, then you are in the catbird seat. You can deliver your skills and talents on your own terms as the marketplace will comply because it demands it. It wants it. This is a lot like being an attractive young woman in today's society. You dictate the terms because everyone wants it. Everyone wants your beauty, your youth, and your fertility. While being a highly skilled man in this society confers the same privileges, believe it or not. And as long as we continue to live in a capitalist society, that will be the case. So if you possess an exceptional skill that is highly demanded by the marketplace, there is actually no better time to be alive. You are no longer compelled to provide that skill and value to a company which does not have your best interests in mind. That is an archaic way of thinking, which, if applied today, will lead to a career of mediocrity. You are actually now better off going on your own and reaping all of the benefits of what you sow. That option was always available in our society, but the alternative, a conventional career track with one company and a pension, used to be an attractive one, but today no longer exists, and the corporate tracks are completely dominated by SJW culture. So now you are actually better off going on your own if you possess exceptional skills or abilities. On the flip side, what if you're a man in today's society who is not very exceptional, which unfortunately describes more men than not? Well, then all is not lost. As more and more MGTOW men go their own way, create their own businesses and their own industries, there will be more opportunities to work for these companies and people who think like us. It would be wise to seek out these companies and individuals and small businesses because they will judge you on your performance and the value you provide rather than an SJW-driven agenda. So take heed, gentlemen. This is the new world order. But don't be afraid. It's actually a great time to be alive. As when I was in college, what I considered to be an unfair burden turned out to be a blessing in disguise.